I'd like to hear about your Pharisaism.
Pharisee, persecutor, apostle, prisoner, martyr. I am the Apostle Paul. Brought up as a Pharisee by Gamaliel, made a Christian on the road to Damascus, shipwrecked on the island of Malta as a prisoner of Rome, waiting to be decapitated by the Roman Emperor. My life may be one of the most fascinating topics in ancient history. Today you will learn about my Pharisaism. Surprisingly, my pre-pastoral life is likely not what you'd expect from a great apostle and professing Christian. I was born a Jew in Tarsus, which is in southeastern Asia Minor. I'm also a Roman citizen and have been my whole life. Because of this, I have a much stronger impact on both Jews and Romans alike. As a Jew, I was required to memorize much of the Old Testament, and even became a Pharisee, which is someone who emphasizes on perfection and extends and changes God's spotless law. I was trained by the Rabbi Gamaliel. According to some beliefs I used to have, the Christian church was evil, and I did everything I could to put an end to it, including traveling all the way to Damascus to imprison followers of Christ. On the way, something extraordinary happened. Do you know what it was? As I look back on my amazing life, I realize how God has worked all things out for good, from miraculously saving me to teaching me to be content even while in prison. I believe that my Pharisaism is an important part of my life because it shows how God can use even the chief of sinners to bring about his will. Now you know even more about the man who went from a nasty Pharisee to a godly preacher, the Apostle Paul. And now farewell, my beloved brothers and sisters in Jesus Christ our Lord.
I want to hear about your conversion.
Pharisee, persecutor, apostle, prisoner, martyr. I am the Apostle Paul. Brought up as a Pharisee by Gamaliel, made a Christian on the road to Damascus, shipwrecked on the island of Malta as a prisoner of Rome, waiting to be decapitated by the Roman Emperor. My life may be one of the most fascinating topics in ancient history. Today, you will learn about my conversion. In spite of my surprising start as a Pharisee, which was sadly very sinful, what happened on the road to Damascus was truly wonderful. My companions and I were traveling to Damascus to arrest believers. Suddenly, a bright light appeared in front of us.
Clear.
Shielding my eyes, I heard a voice. My companions claimed to have heard it, something as well, yet they could not make it out. Squinting because of the light, I saw the risen Christ standing in front of me. The light faded away, and I found myself to be blind. For the next 3 days, I neither ate nor drank. After being a devout Christian named Ananias, I became a preacher and an apostle of Jesus Christ. Despite my sinful start, I really did become a better person when I met Christ on the road. As I look back on my amazing life, I realize how God has worked all things out for good, from miraculously saving me to teaching me to be content even while in prison. I believe my conversion is one of the most important parts of my life because it shows the power of God to change the hearts of men. Now you know even more about me, the man who went from a nasty Pharisee to a godly preacher, the Apostle Paul. And now, farewell, my beloved brothers and sisters in Jesus Christ our Lord.
I want to hear about your ministry.
Pharisee, persecutor, apostle, prisoner, martyr. I am the Apostle Paul. Brought up as a Pharisee by Gamaliel, made a Christian on the road to Damascus. Shipwrecked on the island of Malta as a prisoner of Rome, waiting to be decapitated by the Roman Emperor. My life may be one of the most fascinating topics in ancient history. After my conversion on the road to Damascus and meeting with Ananias, my ministry proved very successful. My first missionary journey brought me to Cyprus, the island of Cyprus, where I stayed from 45 to 47 AD. Next, I traveled to Corinth, and wrote 1st and 2nd Thessalonians. Third, I voyaged to Ephesus, from where I sent my first letter to the church in Corinth, around 56 AD. Then I left a large sailing ship, where we encountered perilous storms and surprisingly strong winds that tossed the ship wildly about. During the trip, which overall was very peaceful, I wrote another gospel-spreading letter entitled 2 Corinthians. When I reached Corinth, I wrote yet another epistle. This one's for the church in Rome. After that, I wrote many letters, including Colossians and Ephesians. Macedonia, which is where I wrote Titus and 1 Timothy, was the location of my next trip. Eventually, I was brought to stand trial before Caesar Augustus for false accusations against me, which were attempts of the chief priests to get me killed. Unfortunately, we shipwrecked on the island of Malta, where we stayed for some time before making our way to Rome. What an exciting journey! Sitting in this Roman dungeon, I am writing what may be my last epistle, 2 Timothy, as I wait to see if I shall die a martyr's death or keep on living. I am not afraid because, as I say, to live is Christ and to die is gain. It seems that after my conversion, my life has been very successful and has saved many lost souls. As I look back on my amazing life, I realize how God has worked all things out for me, from miraculously saving me to teaching me to be content even while in need. I believe my ministry is one of the most important parts of my life, as it demonstrates how, with the help of God, even a mere man like me can impact our Father's great kingdom. Now you know even more about me, the man who went from a nasty Pharisee to a godly preacher, the Apostle Paul. And now, farewell, my beloved brothers and sisters in Jesus Christ. Shipwrecked on the island of Malta, waiting to be killed by the Roman Empire. My life may be one of the most fascinating topics today. My ministry was very successful. My first missionary journey brought me to the island of Cyprus, where I stayed from 45 to 47 years. Next, I traveled to Corinth, where I wrote 1st and 2nd Thessalonians. Third, I voyaged to Ephesus, where I sent my first letter to the church in Corinth, around 56. Then I left a large sailing ship, where we encountered perilous storms and surprisingly strong winds that tossed the ship wildly about. During the trip, which was overall very peaceful, I wrote another gospel-spreading letter entitled 2 Corinthians. When I reached Corinth, I wrote yet another epistle. This one from the church in Rome. After that, I wrote many letters, including Colossians and Ephesians. Macedonia, which was where I wrote Titus and 1 Timothy, was the location of my next trip. Eventually, I was brought to stand trial before Caesar Augustus for false accusations against me, which were attempts of the chief priests to get me killed. Unfortunately, we shipwrecked on the island of Malta, where we stayed for some time before making our way to Rome. What an exciting journey! Sitting in this Roman dungeon, I'm writing what may be my last epistle, 2 Timothy, and I like to see if I shall die a martyr's death or keep on living. Although I would like to live on, I'm not afraid, because as I say, to live is Christ and to die is gain. It seems that after my conversion, my life has been very successful and has saved many lost souls. As I look back on my amazing life, I realize how God has worked all things out for good, to miraculously lead me, teaching me to be content even while I'm taking. I believe that my ministry is one of the most important parts of my life, because it demonstrates how, with the help of God, even a mere man like me can impact our Father's great kingdom. Now you know even more about it. The man who went from an evil Pharisee, the man who went from a nasty Pharisee to godly preacher, the Apostle Paul. And now farewell, my beloved brothers and sisters in Jesus Christ.